Hello everyone and welcome to my first video ever. In this video I'll be driving the DD2 Go Kart for the first time. This will also be my first time on soft tires, which means it will take me a while to feel the kart and get used to the unlimited levels of grip. Before I start, I'd like to list my excuses for the sake of not looking like a slow beginner. First of all, the weather is very hot with temperatures rising to a whopping 45 degrees Celsius. This is my first time driving a DD2, as I said, and this is also my first time driving on soft tires. And last but not least, the pedals are placed too far, causing my foot to cramp every now and then, which is very annoying and distracting and painful. Now that I've got the excuses out of the way, it's time to start. So during the out lap, I'm trying to warm up the engine and trying to get heat into the tires, while also feeling the grip, the brakes and the engine braking, etc. I'm just trying to be a bit gentle with the gear changes and with the throttle. And just as I say that, I lock up the back brakes, and for some reason decide to stay in high gear around these two corners of the track. So just as I decide to go back to low gear, I accidentally slammed the kart into neutral. And as you see, I was looking around to see if anyone saw that, because it was a bit embarrassing. As I said, I was taking the first lap slowly. I had no reason to hurry. Just as the lap is ending, I spotted my first victim, who I must say was violated in an instant. As you can see, the smaller karts are now being released into the track. This meant I had to be a bit careful not to do something stupid, so I waited for the perfect time to overtake without spooking them out. As you can tell by the poorly timed gear shifts, I was still getting used to the gears, and I wasn't great at shifting yet. Once the track opened up a little bit, I took the opportunity to destroy my second victim, even though I started a little bit. As I said, I didn't want to spook or run over anyone. As we get to the final straight, I spotted another victim, which was sort of swerving around, causing me to stutter once again. But after all, they never had a chance. Sadly, after a bad turn and a very bad downshift, I was passed by kart 390. I'm not quite sure, but I think the kart 390 is the same as the DD2 I'm driving, except it doesn't have any gears. Now that the track is all to ourselves, let me describe the track for you guys. This is the first straight, or the main, is also the start-finish line, and it leads to turn 1, in which the exit is also the entrance for turn 2, so that is 2 right turns back to back. Then turn 3, which is a left turn, and turn 4, which is a right turn. Now we are on the straight, which is right before the fast-moving chicane. Let's call it turn 5, which then leads us to turn 6 and 7, which are 2 hairpins not far apart from each other. Now we are on a straight line, which leads to turn 8, which is a long fast turn, which leads to the back straight. This then leads to turn 9 and 10, which are yet again another 2 right turns leading to a U-turn, aka turn 11. From here we have 12, 13 and 14, which are super close to each other. So that's right, left, right. And finally we have the left turn, which is close to a right turn, aka turn 15 and 16, which takes us back to the main straight. Now that you're familiar with the track, I'll stay quiet for 2 laps and then fast forward to my next session. We have now fast forwarded to my second session. This time we will do a practice rolling start race. As soon as I exit the pit lane, I speed up to catch the people in the front. Because of how hot the track was, I didn't really have to do much to warm up the tires, except for driving recklessly for the first lap. As we approach the last couple of corners, you can just see how tidy and clean the formation was. Some people were just changing their positions on the go, others were stalling. When we finally got to the start line, the person in front of me decided he wanted to start in position 3.5. I'm not really sure what happened there, but it didn't really matter because as soon as the race started, he was instantly violated by the DD2. I obviously had an advantage there by having gears to shift through. As you can see, we weren't really bumper to bumper at the start, mostly because I was too distracted by the formation. But because of that, the two people at the front got a really good gap on me. But that also didn't really matter because I caught up really quickly, only to be slowed by the person in second place. Now, because of how high the GoPro stands on the helmet, and because of the 180 wide angle it has, everything seems farther than what they really seemed to me as I was driving. I didn't really want to get too close to the people in front of me, and I wanted to drive responsibly considering I'm still getting used to the kart I'm in. So I had to back off a couple of times to avoid contact with the people in front. Now at the main straight, I take full advantage of my higher top speed and brake late, barely keeping the car on the track. And because of the amount of time I spent behind the person in second place, this gave the person in first place a chance to once again disappear into the horizon. I have now fast forwarded about 5 or 6 laps, and this is where I spotted another victim. It was a back marker actually. I was trying my best to get as close as possible to him. Now that I've gotten closer, I noticed that my pace was significantly faster than his pace, which slowed me down a little. But this was the last lap, which meant that I was to use every single brain cell to try and outsmart this man. And I catch the man in first place just as he's slowing down to enter the pit lane. After all, I had a great time trying out the DD2 for the first time. I made some mistakes here and there, but a wise man once said, practice makes perfect. I'm not sure who said that though. But after all, this was my first time ever driving a manual kart, and hopefully it won't be the last time. I'll try my best to become the greatest racer of all time, obviously. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any recommendations, please feel free to write them down in the comment section. And thank you very much for watching.